This is a P-bed illustration video. In this segment, we will be in illustrating this, we're going to log in as a trainee accountant, which would have completed a number of TSRs and PSRs documents. We'll be at the point where we are ready to start completing an ANA document. This would be the third ANA document that the trainee accountant will be completing since the training contract started. So this is represented by an ANA document dated on the 30th of June 2017. So in a similar fashion as you might have seen it in the 2010 competencies, the ANA document is launched by simply clicking on that not yet link started. And then a form will then be populated by the assessment tool. And this is the information that will appear on your cover page 1. At this point, we need to just confirm the evaluator in which we wish to send this document to, and we also need to confirm the assessor in which we would like this document to be forwarded to. Notice the status of the document still says not yet started until we click on that complete button, which will then update the status of the document and will have the function or the ability to select the individual in which we desire to forward this assessment form to. And then we further on are able to select an assessor. And obviously in this case, we are in the second period of our training contract. And then we are also able to record hours of core experience that we would have attained for the past 6 months. So obviously the period in which we are busy with, it'll be it started from the 1st of January 2017 to the 30th of January 2017. Perhaps in a period we might have had 800 hours of core experience, and then we can update that, which will then essentially conduct a carry on from the last time, which we obviously from period 1 to period B, this is the number of hours we would have captured. Then there are the 4 sections, obviously, of the document, obviously being told specifically which one we need to complete as a trainee accountant. And we're going to go ahead and begin with section 1. Now, notice that section 1 at this point would have already been completed in the sense that just to illustrate some of the features or some of the updates within the section, we're going to go ahead and launch it. And I just identify those sections where we have just slight changes when we compared these 2016 competencies to the previous one. As you may see, all of them are in fact green, is an indication to us that it requires essentially no input from a trainee accountant, that we can just simply click on each competency and confirm that the information has in fact pulled through to the ANA document. But specifically those ones that we would have conducted tasks on. So at this point in time, you will see we would have obviously done a technical skills review for that particular period on the 30th of June 2017, and these are the ratings in which we had achieved for those particular tasks. And now what something we may not be familiar with at this point is there is an expected development level. This is obviously something that we will not be required as trainee accountants to alter. It will already be in our ANA documents. Soon after the administrators have in fact captured this particular portion of the assessment form. And we suppose we can just talk about this while we're at it. The idea behind the expected development level matrix is to guide as to which task requires development. Obviously, in line with the firm's expected level of development as a trainee accountant for this particular task, we are obviously at par, so we do not require development. In fact, this will in fact be completed by the evaluator and the assessor in determining when allocating an appropriate rating. So in fact, hence we're not going to be able to alter or change any of these ratings at this point in time. So, but as the information it stands, this is something that is new as a trainee accountant. But to continue with this illustration, let's perhaps just move on into sections where we will obviously identify some changes. If I were to just take you again further on, that would have been the technical skill part of the document. and then professional conduct part of the document will begin from about that point towards the end of your form. If you click on that link, it'll then take us to professional conduct skills or tasks. Within this, obviously, we have a couple of new functions or edit functions. Obviously, this is all still required to be completed by the trainee. At this point, we've obviously done so by completing those individual technical professional skills documents. But we also further on have two different links. The first link is just to show us now is a new requirement for SACA to have retained evidence specifically for the professional conduct skills. They were required to retain evidence of all professional conducts they would have demonstrated since the inception of their training contract. Click on this link, it'll then be able to display such information for previous ANA periods. So this will be an ANA period in the last one we just had, the 31st of December 2016. And if you scroll down again, it'll go to June 2016, and which was initially the first ANA that the trainee accountant had done. So this will be a running log of all professional conducts tasks that a trainee accountant would have performed throughout that period of their training contract. It will be at all times accumulated through that link there. Also, an option to print if we so wish to do so. So essentially, that's just one of the new features that we have under the professional conduct, and we will further on illustrate this view reviewers comment. But it'll become much more important or necessary when we are in fact reviewing or performing or rating the trainee accountant for the period. Okay, and just for simplistic sake, we're going to just identify only those items within the assessment form with needed ANA form, just where the changes have been. So at this point, we would have been happy with everything that we've seen in the past. So we can simply click done to go back, so we can perhaps continue with the rest of the form. So section 2, again, to be completed by trainee accountants, and then but to be reviewed by evaluators when they do perform the evaluation of this ANA document. And section 2 does not have much changes when compared to the previous one. Simply, you will still be required to complete those two sections, major assignments for the next 6 months, and the academic record. Simply by clicking on the link, you are further able to actually capture information which relates to this particular portion of the form. Simply add new, and then you will have the function to add the major assignment that has been planned. If there is a specific audit section that you will be required to complete and the actual work that will need to be done, you will be able to do so. And you can continue to add more lines as and when necessary in order for you to continue to fill out whatever assignments that would have been planned for the next 6 months. Just for purposes of testing, we're just going to write the word test, and as a great deal of information will need to be completed in these sections. And once we're happy, we simply click done, and then it saves it, and in fact it will number the number of items that we would have captured. Like as you can see in bracket, there'll be 2 assignments that have been documented. Similar with the academic record, we'll have an ability to just include our achievements with regards to our academic record as training accountants. If you are still studying, you'll then be able to capture those information with regards to the record, to your academic progress. And again, in a similar fashion, you'll simply click on add new, and you'll be able to include any academic record and any information that is relevant with regards to your academic record. Once you are done, you simply click on that link, and then it saves the information. For this point in time, will indicate there's only one academic record that has been captured under section 2. Once we're happy, we again, for section 2, you click done. It saves all the information that we would have captured under the ANA portion for section 2, and you can further move on to section 3, which is the last section to be completed by a trainee accountant when obviously your ANA document. 2 sections that needs to be included in there. Let's start with the first one relating to training and learning objectives and examples of the transfer of any learning objective from the training courses that you might have attended in a period of time. So again, you will write any relevant information under these skills respectively. And again, actions decided on to transfer the learning plan should be transferred into section 4. Obviously, at this point, you are able to also further on include all actions or plans that the office would come up with in order for us to make sure that the learning objectives and the skills that we've obtained from a specific training, we're able to apply them in our day-to-day work as we continue with our training contract. So once we're happy with that information, you simply click done, and then it again will retains it and saves it under that section 3 of the assessment of the ANA assessment form. Okay, at this point, obviously seen everything in terms of the information that a trainee accountant would have needed to capture. And we'll be at the point where we are happy to sign up this particular ANA so that it can again be forwarded to the reviewer ratings and if there's any development required in terms of our performance for the current 6 as a trainee accountant under the 2000